Ready for this.
Hopefully the dogs will not bark. Anyway, episode 3562. Okay, no, 71. I think we did 70.
No.
Right, so 3,582nd.
Welcome by the nutrition
protocol. First of all, we're going to announce the new group we're going to do. 8 weeks module, 1 call a week, our usual stuff. It starts on the September 2nd, I believe, or 3rd, one or the other. Whatever. There'll be a call.
This is not a good intro.
Yes, it is. It's perfect. They're used to it. That's how I do everything. Yes, it's very structured, very organized. Yeah, the Strongfit way. Base of the pyramid, people. Yeah, she's shocked. She's like, is that how you work? Yeah, pretty much. They're all like, yeah. That's usually how it works. So, what is the 8-week group that I'm going to do about? I want apply the protocol in a way toward performance. So, why do I want to do that? Since it goes against exactly what I said the protocol was for. Because I want to prove that the protocol can be applied toward a specific purpose if done correctly. This is a conversation I want to have about the fitness industry. It's an idea that I had the other day, which I think I know where the problem is. Pause. Unpause. That's going to stay like that. Because the dog started barking and stopped. So he's just fucking with me at this stage. Like, that dog is going to die. It won't be me, obviously. But I'm just predicting the future, that's all. So the main issue that I see in the fitness industry, I think where we went wrong is treating the body as an object. So you heard me say about the sense of self and all that stuff all the time. The body is a subject and an object. We see that duality within the sense of self, where we say I and we say me. Me is me like food. I means I go to the market. There is a me, how do I feel in a world, and I interact with the world. Those are the two sides of the sense of self, of who we are. It turns out that those two sides are universal because it's a prediction versus observation, if you look. So there's an arch there that you find everywhere. It's a fundamental principle. We saw, when it comes to nutrition, that in that book that I talk about all the time, that the root cause of all eating disorders is body as an object. When you start to look at the body and go, I want the body to be this or to be that or to do that, without taking into consideration that the body is also you, a subject, and that you need to take into consideration how the body is answering what you tell it to do. Prediction versus observation. Mm-hmm. So if you see where I think we are going wrong in the industry, that leads to so many problems, is that the body is an object. What does that mean? That means you're going to eat 40 grams of protein in order to get the muscle, regardless or whether or not you can digest it. You're going to eat that because that's what the study says. That's treating the body as an object. You're going to eat that much at lunch, whether you're hungry or not. So, and no one is worse than that than the bodybuilders that overeat constantly to produce muscle, whether they're hungry or not. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's the epitome of body as an object, which means there is no consideration
toward... But also the idea that everyone is the same when you're that...
That too, by the way. Yeah, so body as an object. So again, body as an object, for example, is what? Like my hand is me because I can feel it. That's body as a subject. Whereas I can order it. It can move whenever I say so. Therefore, it's an object. So we are a combination of both. But when we start to treat the body only as an object, that's when we see the worst things happening. That's what we see with anorexia, which is the number one killer of all eating disorders. Pause.
This chair is not comfortable. Like you can't find a good position in it.
It looks good on camera.
How do you sit comfortable in this chair?
I don't.
You're just uncomfortable for the entire time?
I'm just sitting. I'm here to talk.
You're here to talk business.
And pause. So, anorexia is the number one killer of all eating disorders. And what you see is mostly women, some men, but mostly women, looking in the mirror to see who they are. And that's the most dangerous thing. So when you put people on macros, you're telling them this is what you're going to eat, regardless of hunger, regardless of state, regardless of digestion. I mean, you are pushing the body as an object. It is a very, very dangerous thing to do. I had someone ask me that question. He's like, yeah, but talking about the protocol, we see other systems out there that show athletes that have great results using their system. So what do you have to say to that? All right. So let me explain how I look at the situation from the inside. First of all, you are assuming that those athletes who are getting paid by that company actually do the diet prescribed by that company. That is not the case. I know that a lot of them are getting paid, and yet eat their own way. They're just getting a paycheck. Second of all, like using extraordinary people as an example can be dangerous, because some people walk around at a very low percentage body fat, like a 10%, not eating that well. Let's say, like, if I were to do that, I'd be 15, 16% body fat. There are 10 because of genetics, bitch. Right? I mean, it's like, that's how this works. Like, you do cardio for 3 days, you get leaner, and you're like, well, yeah, I did cardio for 3 days.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. Well,
the world isn't fair in that sense.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, be careful when you look at certain athletes saying, I eat like this and I get those results. It's like, right. First of all, the genetics, and who knows, maybe there's drug associated with it, or at least there's a lifestyle that is not yours. Maybe they don't work all day like you do. They don't have the stress that you do. They don't have a 9-to-5 job. They don't they train 3 times a day, which you can't, because you can't recover from it.
Like they're like, for me,
That too.
when I was 60 kilos at some point.
Yeah.
I was just eating chocolate necessarily.
Right. One night she pulls out the bread, little bit of butter, and put chocolate sprinkles on it. And
it's awesome.
Yeah, that was dinner. And she was 61 kilos and is lean as you're gonna get.
Yeah, and I was just very not happy.
Extremely anxious.
Yeah, so it's
aching everywhere.
And I've seen it with actually a lot of women that get very, very like lean or lean out a lot, like during like a bad period of time in their life. So it can actually also be that.
Right. Well, so that's the second point I wanted to make, is that if you go into a high carb diet, correctly with very low fat, and you train enough, you can get extremely lean. You can get women under 10% body fat. It is totally true. What they are not telling you is that everybody quits by week 6. And the owners of the company will tell you it, because people are not capable of eating a certain way past week 6 because they're weak mentally. No, because that is not sustainable.
Yeah.
That way of eating will just destroy you. That's the bottom line. You just can't maintain it because of, again, body as an object. Like, so it's going to create the somatic error that is going to drive the anxiety through the roof. Having such diet will, for a lot of women, for example, results in loss of their periods. Inflammation is high, so shoulders hurt. They're in the crappiest of mood all the time. They want to kill everybody by 6 o'clock. They don't sleep that well. The problem is when they show you the pictures before and after, is they're showing you 6 weeks of a very small window with those people training, because they eat 3,000-4,000 calories, but they train 3 times a day and they murder themselves, and it's entirely not sustainable.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? If that's what you want, yes, then go with those companies, because for 6 weeks you will have results. But then come week 8, and then what?
Yeah, you can take all your Instagram photos in week 6 and then just go back to your joggers for the coming months, and then do it all over again.
Do it all over again, because let me tell you, like on week 7 and 8, you're gonna gain 5 kilos back.
Yeah.
If not more. You're most likely gonna weigh more than when you started, because your body is gonna yo-yo the shit out of it. That's how it works. Whereas I'm interested in sustainable. I've been on the protocol for over 3 years. And so my thing was, like, can I get lean without going into that mindset of body as an object? Turns out you have to be precise, but it's feasible.
Yeah.
Following exactly the same principles, but not body as an object, staying at body as a subject. So that means that instead of 40 grams of protein to eat blah, 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 it's like, all right, I need to eat enough protein. How do I know that? Well, for example, it's very simple. There's a specific feeling when I know I ate enough protein. If I go past that, and so that's trial and error, I've noticed every time that I hold water in my lower abs. If I eat too much protein, so that I'm not capable of digesting well, the next morning my stomach is pushing forward and I hold water in my lower abs every time. So that took a few trial and errors and stuff like that, but it has happened every time. And so now I know exactly how much to eat. Why? Because I can feel it. So it might not be the same quantity day to day, but I know when I reach that point where I'm like, I ate enough and I'm done.
Yeah.
If I don't eat enough, I'm hungry. That's not good either. Let's talk about that for a second. If you're hungry all the time, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's going to create a massive anxiety problem. That's a somatic error. That means your body is the observation of your body is not fitting the prediction that you're making. That's doing it wrong as well.
You will constantly be in that hunting mode where you just...
That is not sustainable. Yeah. So you need to speak a little bit louder.
Oh, sorry.
Because otherwise we're going to have a problem with the sounds. For me, sustainable means what? Means not being hungry, not having to train 3 hours a day, and not having cravings through the roof. That means sustainable.
Possible with the protocol because there's
right, exactly. So I do 10 minutes of cardio a day, 5 days a week. I do less than an hour of cardio a week. And then you saw the pictures. I got pretty lean, right? I switch things around because we're so active. I'm going to explain more fruits than fat. So I'll lower the fat intake a little bit, right? But I've kept the protocol the same. I do not cheat much. We don't drink much. And we're very consistent with the way we eat. Breakfast, lunch around the same time, kind of the same things. Same thing with dinner. So we're very consistent in that sense. So it's not to say it doesn't represent work. Don't get me wrong. It's precise work and you have to know yourself well. But there is a way to do this toward the body as a subject instead of the body as an object, which I feel is the correct way to do that moving forward. I feel if you just hunt that six-pack the way they're doing it correctly, you're just asking for a disaster. It's not sustainable. So what did we do? So let me go back to Amsterdam where...
Yeah, so what is the biggest difference between Amsterdam and here?
Right, so
what
Amsterdam
did we adjust the most?
We were inside a lot, right? Because lockdown, all that stuff, so we're inside a lot. Rain, cold. So we had to adjust things a bit. I was having a lot of fats there and almost no carbs.
What we were eating there was, I remember, goat yogurt.
Goat yogurt.
Banana,
that was my morning. Yeah.
Raspberry. That was the morning.
It was fruits and yogurt.
Fruits and yogurt, and that was it.
It was it.
And then you had lunch, which was either a salad with goat cheese, blueberries, and pear. And then we had a snack, which was usually like 90% dark chocolate with maybe some nuts or
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Something in that vibe.
Yeah.
And then dinner was usually chicken. We were having
fish.
Yeah, fish.
Chicken and fish.
Yeah,
mostly chicken.
Mostly chicken. Here we eat more fish. Like there we ate a lot of chicken. We had a moment where we ate like chicken for 3 months straight.
And organ meat.
And you like liver there a lot?
Liver a lot and sausage a lot.
Sausage.
So my fat percentage was higher. Yeah. So we get here, and here we are outside way more. Way more.
Yeah, and we were also happy we left Amsterdam. There we can just do whatever we want.
Yeah, that too, by the way. But it changed also. Like we're far more active. We started the Q training, so I'm training far more. But so what I did is, I could try the yogurt again, or it didn't even come to my mind. Let's explain what we eat now. So now I wake up, I eat fruits. Then we go to do the Q-1 training. Then I come back and I do the acai, which is a berry here, very famous, that is mixed with guarana. So quite a lot of fructose in that, probably some sugar, by the way. Hopefully not too much, but guarana has a lot of caffeine in it. Then we go train, come back, lunch. So lunch I change. Instead of having the goat cheese salad, I realized that the salad and the goat cheese, that's why I started putting fruits, was kind of zonking me a little bit because I used a lot of cheese. I was getting most of my calories from fat, and it was kind of zonking me. At the time, it was okay because all I would do in the afternoon is really study and do. It was a lot of studying then because we did not go outside. Whereas here, it's a lot of being active. I have my calls around midday instead of 6, 7 at night. Now I got my calls at 11 to 3. So the workload was different. So I get here, and instead of having the salad with goat cheese, I do not crave as much fats here as I did in Amsterdam. Here I crave more fruit. So after acai, we have lunch, and lunch is actually eggs with more yolks. So I know that I said eggs are protein. Quantities matter in that sense. I can have 3 eggs, all the way up to 5, it depends. But for example, if I have 3 eggs and cheese, that might be too much and it zonks me and just puts me to sleep and I know it's not working well. So it's still heavy on fats eggs are anyway, especially if you add more yolks, right? I had to take out the cheese because it was just too much fat for the day for me. So actually it lowered the amount of fat that I eat quite a lot. The dog is gonna bark, yes, no? No? Okay. I lowered the amount of fats quite a lot, and I've upped the carbs in the form of fruits, right? And so then we have, okay, pause. And pause. So I have upped the carbs with fruits, and then around as a break, usually for 5, I get more fruits, and then we have dinner at 7, which is mostly fish and protein. I cut out the organ meat, so that's what tells me I don't crave the fast nearly as much. Is I can't have the organ meat like I used to. I see it around my waist the next morning right away. My digestion is not the same.
So at lunch we also eat a salad.
Yeah. Right. You're right. I crave veggies right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we do is we have a salad on the side, and then you have the egg yolks with a little bit of white, and then the salad on the side, and then at 4 you have the fruits, and then at 7-ish we have dinner.
And way more veggies.
Yeah, we eat at least, I cook at least 400 grams of veggies at night.
For dinner?
Yeah.
It's I crave veggies like crazy. I crave veggies and fruits mostly.
Yeah, for the two of us and Yaya.
Yeah.
And then mostly fish. We eat a lot of chicken here.
Yeah, fish and chicken.
Fish and chicken mostly.
I can sense exactly how much is needed now. So I eat the veggies first usually, and then I know exactly how much protein is needed, and which is less than in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But then I see the results on my low abs, which I hold a lot less water.
Yeah.
I have not lost weight. I'm still at 98 kilos.
Yeah, so what is the biggest difference for you physically in Amsterdam to physically here?
Right, so in Amsterdam I was about 102 kilos, whereas here I'm 97, 98. So I've lost about 5 kilos, and it's mostly fat. Because I got quite lean, I can see my low abs, which I never could before. And that's training really, really hard, which I find interesting because the last time I was at 100 kilos, I was flat. I was leaner, but I was very flat. Whereas right now, I'm at 97, which is the lightest I've been in. I don't remember last time I was 100 kilos. It's been a long, long time that I've been that light. But I'm very round. And everything feels good. Last time I was 99, I could not train heavy, for example.
No.
I did not have the energy to train heavy.
Yeah, I remember when you were 99,
felt tired.
You were quite flat. You were doing mostly eating fruits during the day.
Yeah.
Fasting a lot more.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I wasn't eating enough.
No, you were kind of starving yourself a little bit. And then
but that's the time I realized I was a bit on the depressed side. I had overdone the parasympathetic thing, and I was using fats actually to calm myself to the point where I actually put myself in freeze.
Yeah.
And so
then
I went into
dating a sprinter, and everything went 5 times as fast.
And I realized I needed way more energy, and which was interesting. And that's where the fasting came in, because I was like, I need energy. But it made me flat and tired, and so I couldn't train the way I wanted. Yeah. And so now, even at 97, which is 2 kilos lighter than then, which is crazy, I have far more muscle. I wish I'd done the test, but right now I'm probably around 10%, I'm guessing. I'm very, very round, and I train heavy and hard. That's the biggest difference compared to Amsterdam, is I did not have the energy there to do what I do now.
Yeah, so what did you see? Because what I remember of you, mostly fasting, when you were at 99 in Amsterdam, is that you had around the end of around 5, you were super hungry and crashing a bit.
Yep.
To the point that you just didn't like it, and then you had to just
readapt, because I did not want to be hungry, because that's a sign you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Right. So that's how you also see that you try all the time and try new different things. Always.
But the fasting was to reset the signals, because I realized I was in freeze, and I was like, all right, I need to get out of it.
Yeah.
Again, we just started together. I was like, dude, kick your own ass, get out of this funk. And so I was like, all right, fasting is a great way to reset the signals.
Yeah, I really like fasting too.
I don't, because I don't like that hungry feeling. To me, it means I'm doing it wrong. But I needed to get myself out of the funk, and I realized that's what the fats were doing. Turns out I was not in the best place mentally. And then being with you really showed me that. And I was like, all right, then get better. And that's why I started to add the fruits. So
yeah, and then you started to do the fats back in.
Yep.
And
because they're needed. That's what I discovered is you need the fats. So 2 things. People are going to say, well, the reason you have more energy is because you have more fruits. Yes, but you have to understand, I'm not touching starches. I don't have rice, I don't have pasta, I don't have any of it. All I do is fruits. Fructose is not glucose, glucose is not sucrose. I have 0 sugar, not 0, because there's probably some in the acai and we have dark chocolate, but I don't eat any junk food, any stuff with sugar. We don't have starches, I don't eat bread, I don't eat rice, I don't eat pasta, any of it. I don't have potatoes. Veggies are broccolis, cucumbers, bell peppers, and tomatoes and carrots. That's it. So it's all fruit base. I'm a frutivore in that sense. Shit ton of veggies and protein at night.
Yeah. So sorry, I just wanted to point
Let's be
out
structural.
To point out that
they like it.
When you went back.
Finally, we needed someone like this. See, having a woman in was a good idea.
Yeah, I have also some questions about that. But so you add the fats back in. So you added the fats back in, and you saw yourself gaining a little bit of weight, and you also changed up the training because you started kickboxing then. So how did you experience?
Back then? Back then, yeah. So I realized that if I did all fruits, it didn't work. I realized the same thing here. Then I just get like super edgy, and there's a restlessness that comes out of only having fruit. So that doesn't work. So I was like, all right, I need to.
You needed some fat.
Right, and then I felt like I needed some weight in my stomach at lunch.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like the grazing thing, like the fruits, they never fill you up. I wanted to be full at lunch. And so that's when I was like, all right, let's see if fats with a lot of yolks, eggs with a lot of yolks and a big salad would do. And then that works perfectly.
Yeah.
It doesn't take me over where I zonk, but it gives me, it gives me exactly what I need. Back in Amsterdam, that's when I put the goat cheese back in, because without the fats, also my brain doesn't work nearly as well.
Yeah.
Like if I'm just on fruits, I can't study, I can't.
Yeah, that's what the thing you notice the most.
Yeah.
You can't do study, you can't do meetings, you can't do calls.
Yeah.
That's
just
too
on
much.
fruits now. No, it's just too much. So you can train, you can do stuff, you want to be active, you want to be outside, but when it comes down to taking a study on lactate and focusing and studying, and I can tell because I like my mellow music when I study. If I have just fruits, it's like having espresso. Like you have energy, but you can't do anything with it. So it's useless, right? So it's a bit the same thing. I need the fats to be able to focus. There's no question there. And so here I found a very good balance between all the fruits, the fats that I still have, very necessary. And after that is, so to get lean, which means not eating too much, eating enough. So that's really the way I want to explain nutrition for me. And then I think that, because that's the part I wanted to explain about the difference, I think, between the way the fitness industry sees nutrition and the way I see it. More and more, you see that, like bodybuilding is still the leading force of the fitness industry. It's not CrossFit, it's not powerlifting, it certainly is not strongman, it's bodybuilding. And what you see in the new wave of coaches is that bodybuilding is 2 things, drugs and nutrition. Do you notice that almost no one talks about training anymore? Go on YouTube, look at bodybuilding, and all you hear is which drugs to take, what diuretics to take to get lean, or other stuff, or the SMARs, or whatever they call, and nutrition. No one talks about training anymore. The only famous coach right now, from a movement perspective, is Charles Glass, and he's 60-something. That no one talks training anymore. Now it's drugs and nutrition. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that tells you where we are. Body as an object. We're going to force the body to do
what we want.
To do what we want, right? So the idea of asking nutrition to make you lean or to make you gain muscle is wrong. And so that's going to be the main difference with the protocol is we're not going to use the protocol to get lean. We're going to use the Q idea to get lean. The protocol becomes part of the Q lens.
Yeah.
We need a good name for that, of the Q lens. But the protocol itself will not make you lean. It's the entirety of the thing. The concept that will make you lean. So what is nutrition is how we're going to get lean. So what we're going to do is we're going to use nutrition as a stabilizing force, which means you're going to eat enough, but not past that.
Yeah.
Enough to not be hungry, to sustain the muscle, to sustain your training, and to stay where you are.
And mentally. Be, exactly.
Clear, focus, being able to work as you need, the way you want to. So to be in the state you want to be.
So you don't never have the feeling that you have to sacrifice something.
Bit louder.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So you never have the feeling that you
need to sacrifice
something. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what nutrition is about, a stabilizing force. If a food drives you outside of that center, then the food has to go. Too much alcohol has to go. Sugar has to go. Coffee, if it's a fix, has to go. That's really the proper approach. Are there sacrifices to make in order to get to where you want to be? Yes, there are. Guess what? It's still going to require work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like it's still on you, but it's going to be within that stabilizing force. That's what nutrition should be. It should be like a base of the pyramid, but you should not use it to get lean or gain weight. Because if you up the protein, I'm like, are you hungry? Because if you're hungry, you'll eat more protein anyway. But you don't want to force the protein. You can't digest it. If you can't digest it, why are you ingesting it?
That's the beauty of the protocol. At least I'm on the protocol for a year, I think. That's something like that. That's what I find the most relaxing thing. Like there is no, I need to eat this right now. There's no forcing. It's just an open idea in, okay, we're going to eat protein, but it doesn't matter what protein. It just depends on what you want to eat, right?
Right.
So it's that open idea that you just...
Right. So for example, how did I get rid of the water on my low abs? I stopped overeating protein. I realized that I ate more than I needed.
Yeah.
Why? Because I wanted to gain muscle. It's still that idea was stuck in my head from reading that at 18. You need to pound protein. You can't pound protein. You can't digest it. Food ingested is not food digested. And those people are pro bodybuilders, are genetic freaks that can build muscle like that, and they take drugs. They're not you. So stop thinking you're Ronnie Coleman. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not him. So forget what he does. That's just not the way this works. You need to see what you do, not what they do. So that's what nutrition is going to be. It's like, how much do you need to eat? And what I mean by that is like, how much are you eating because you're bored, because you want to feel good about something? No, feel good about because you're tired. Feel good about your life, not through food.
Yeah.
You're tired, move around, right? If you're hungry, eat.
Sleep more.
Right, sleep more, rest better, recovery, train better, stop being in freeze. Most of the time, people are tired because they're in freeze, not because they're tired. Yeah. They're not tired physically. You're in freeze most of the time. We did a podcast on that.
Yeah.
That's what you see. So being tired and using food is just a fix.
Yeah.
That's not what you need. What you need is to not be in freeze. You're hungry? Yes. But if you're bored, no, don't eat. I mean, so there's a base of a quantity of food that you need to be stable. That's what I want you to find.
Yeah.
Is that enough protein to sustain your muscle mass, and then you'll know, and that it relates to how much of it you can digest. Enough, then they're going to say enough energy through the fruits. Sure, it's not that simple, but let's put it like that. And the fats will allow you to get your brain going correctly.
Yeah, so the fats are there to stabilize you, the carbs are there to, at least the carbs, fruits are there to...
Yeah, the fruits, to give you the carbs that you need. I'm not a low carbs guy. I never was anyway. So let's have the carbs, but the fats it's very, very necessary to be in the proper state in order for your brain to work optimally. There's no question about that. Then we play with that, and fats are necessary for organs, hair, for periods. Libido is very important. Like if your sex drive is not up, that tells you there's a problem with all this.
The proteins are there at night
to heal and recover.
And the veggies.
And the veggies, they're good for digestion. They're good for, they're usually carb based. All the protein, the nutrients, the what do you call that?
Vitamins.
Vitamins and minerals, all that stuff. But the fiber as well. They're very, very essential for all of that stuff. And once you, again, not hungry, not too much. That means that you have to know when you eat when you're hungry, and when you eat when you're bored, when you eat when you're tired, because when you eat. So let me talk about something also I wanted to mention, was the base that you're at. It's very important to know that you have a certain base that you are stuck with. Like I always felt I was my strongest at 105 kilos, but you can tell at that stage my waist was thicker. I could not get lean at that weight because it's too heavy for me. When I was competing in wrestling, I was a 99. That was a bit light for me. I'm happy between 2 and 98. I mean, like I'm probably a 95, 96 kilo guy, really frame-wise. And then every muscle I put on top of that is added to it. And I can tell that from movement perspective. Like right now, I move so much better.
Yeah.
Like nothing aches. I move well at 97. I'm probably at my best at very lean at 95. For jiu-jitsu, that'd be around where I would want to be. Where I move at my fastest, I'm endurant. I can still be strong. I'm round, like done correctly, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm at my best around that weight. If I want to go 105, it's gonna be fat. It's gonna be a lot of fat going into it. Like if you can gain 2 kilos of muscle, if you just out of the 2 kilos of muscle 2 kilos that you gain, if you gain 1 kilo of muscle, 1 kilo of fat, you're doing really, really good. Yeah. And so you'll see that if you're below your weight, you'll gain a lot of muscle. But then there's a moment when you start to get muscle and fat, and then a moment where it's more fat than muscle, and then more fat even. That's when you know you're going further and further away from your base.
Yeah. So. What I found interesting the other day when we were talking, you said that in 105 you even moved around in daily life was less comfortable for you than 97, and that influenced the whole way of being and feeling in daily life. So do you think that that's also something important to mention, but also to that you know the weight you're leaning against represents the state you're in, and the other way around, right? Right.
That's a very good point. I was thinking about that, like moving around is like I go up and down the stairs without thinking right now, and my foot doesn't hurt.
Exactly.
So I'm like tung, 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 going up, and the difference is only like 3-4 kilos, so it's not even that much. Yeah. But suddenly I'm breathing better. I don't have my stomach pushing forward. Like I go up and down the stairs. My positioning has changed. I just move around better, and that makes it so much more enjoyable. And because you move around better, you do more. Yeah. You go up and down the stairs more, you do more stuff, so you're less in freeze, which of course has tremendous physiological changes, so you get leaner just out of that. And so you have a certain frame, and you have your most efficient weight, and that's really where you should be. Yeah. If you know what I mean, like I hate using the should verb, but there's that reality as well. If I want to add 10 kilos of muscle to that, it's going to be very hard. Like if I'm under, it's the same thing, losing, when you know your weight the other way around, is when you're overweight, you lose a lot of fat, right? Okay, that's great. But then you get to your best weight, whatever. To go below that, you're going to start losing a lot of muscle, more than fat. That's a little bit how you know where your frame is at. And so, but that has to be part of the nutrition talk, because your nutrition should be based on giving you the necessary base to be at that weight. Yeah. Your program for that means that's where your body ultimately would like you to be. So it'll make you the leanest possible at that weight. Below that, you'll be losing muscle. Going past that, we'll be gaining fat. Yeah. Your nutrition should be stabilizing you at that weight. And then after that, we can play with training to make you gain a bit of muscle or lose a little bit of fat, but most likely your weight will not change that much. And by the way, no one wants to be bigger. What people want to be is be rounder. Yeah. No one wants to be bigger. You know what I mean? Like when we think muscle, we mean round. I want rounder shoulder, I want rounder butt, rounder legs. So you can't be, if you gain as much fat as you gain muscle, you're not going to be rounder. You're just going to be thicker, which is not what most people are asking for. Yeah, and then in this training, it's exactly the same thing. Like you should find training which is built around what you like and what you're naturally good at, which will at the end also transfer more towards the body results you like, right? Because you feel good in training. And it's body as a subject too, right? So what's interesting too is I realize, for example, at 105 kilos, I was slow. I know that when I was in jiu-jitsu, I was slow. But that means I'm slow even deadlifting. I can be, like generate a lot of power and everything, but I don't move myself as fast. It changes your technique. And my waist was a bit thicker. So, you know what I mean? It changes the way you move. It changes the way you lift. It's going to change your technique so you can compensate on certain things. And there's a problem there. And you see that most people cannot accept that. I guess it's because once you're at your weight, your natural weight, and you're at your natural body fat percentage, you realize that you're not Ronnie Coleman, that you don't weigh 120 kilos at 3% body fat. Yeah, I'm not. I'm at 95 kilos. Like right now, I'm very close to, I would think, my optimal stuff. So I bet you my leanness would be, if I'm at 10%, like maybe what, like 1% body fat lower, maybe 2, so 8% at 95 kilos.
Yeah.
That's me. That's me at my best. Well, that's not Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
I'm not Ronnie Coleman.
That's where true body positivity comes in then, right?
What real body positive would be like, can I look great at 95 kilos at 8% body fat? Yeah, great for me. Will I look like those guys on Instagram? No, I won't. They have a shape to their muscle I will never have. I won't be as pretty as some of those dudes are. They have the round shaped muscle, the perfect abs and that. That's not me. But I can be freaking strong at 95 kilos. Even lean, like right now I'm getting, like the weight feels very light on my back.
Feeling good, training good.
And being me.
Yeah. So what is the biggest difference between 99 in Amsterdam when we first met and 97?
So energy, like not even close. Now I have energy all day. I'm always constantly going. So we train, we come back, I got my calls and we shoot the podcast and then we go. Who is smiling, man? So you agree that I have a lot more energy?
I was trying to hide the smile.
So I guess I have more energy.
You have a lot of energy. You don't talk a lot at all, no.
Oh, is that the energy you're talking about? That smile was referring to something else. Anyway, I have a lot more energy than I had in Amsterdam. I feel 20 times better. Like nothing aches. I felt flat and tired over there in freeze, right?
Yeah.
And things were aching, like my right shoulder, stuff
and
like
work-wise, study-wise?
Work-wise, study-wise, I'm very sharp right now, and I can train like a mule
I find
right now.
you way more able to take stress and.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that's the Q training. That's not just that's not nutrition. That's a Q training.
But that goes hand in hand with the new nutrition program, right?
Exactly, because that's what the nutrition module will be. It's like you can't just do nutrition. Then you have to understand that in order to get leaner, you have to do nutrition and the Q training. That doesn't mean the Q template. Doesn't mean you have to train for strength. But there's a way that you need.
An approach to life, right?
Right, exactly. It's about life. So there's a behavioral stuff that has to happen, and the Q-1 cardio is the key to that. But so the biggest difference I would say is the way I train too. I can train hard. Right now I'm training hard, like super high volume, hard work. And I come back from it every time, and I'm not crashing anymore. I can do even assistance work without crashing. I'm not flat, I'm round, and I'm actually leaner than I was at 99 kilos.
You're wider,
way more energy, and I can train. I'm training for strength right now, not to maintain, to gain strength. Like right now, the weights are feeling light on my back, light on the deadlift. Like it's very effective. Energy level is
consistent.
Up. Very consistent.
More consistent than when you were 99 in Amsterdam with just fruits.
Yeah,
and also more consistent than when you were on fats. I feel like this is your balance better.
Right, the fats were crushing me, but I think I was crushing me.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was using the fats for, I discovered. It was a parasympathetic fix. Just the fruits, that doesn't work.
No, but I mean, just like referring to like the same weight, what was the difference the most?
Strength-wise, not even close.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because I could never be strong at 100 kilos versus 105. But I understand now why. It's just because my waist has shrunk so much. It's a bitch when it comes to static lift. Mm-hmm. So the first 3-4 weeks, I was struggling because my technique changed. Now I have to find strength through muscle quality instead of muscle quantity. So that I had to adapt to.
So do you see more muscle quality than?
Yeah. Not even close. That's why I think I'm round. Yeah. And then you could see that the quality of my muscle has improved drastically. Compared to before.
Yeah. See it a lot around your triceps.
Yeah, the triceps, like I see it around my lats, they're starting to fill up again. Yeah. The low abs, doesn't hold water. I'm actually starting to gain hamstrings. Still have skinny legs, but they're growing, which is quite unusual for me. So no, it's working really well. And I had always hard time getting strong while lean. I could never do it. It was either one or the other, which I'm managing to train for strength and gain strength right now, while getting leaner, because I keep getting leaner every week. And like the squat on Monday was the lightest it's felt in the last 9 weeks. So I was like, ooh, that's very interesting. When I was at 99 in Amsterdam, everything was heavy. Miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to have a lot of, by the way, I had to add sugar when I was training.
Yeah.
In Amsterdam 99, I needed the chocolate, whereas I haven't had any during training here.
Yeah.
I haven't touched sugar since I've been here.
Yeah. Even before.
Even in training, yeah. Even in training. Yep.
Yeah. So basically you're walking around lighter on your feet all day, which means that you can move yourself better and move the weights better.
And yes, and it puts you in less of a state of freeze.
Yeah.
I think the closer you are to your baseline, the natural baseline, the better you do, because the better the body understands the world around you. Like I know
contact you have with yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly, and with the world around you, because I can move the way I want. I can go up the stairs and tuck, tuck. I move the way I picture myself moving.
Yeah, so that's, I find, a very interesting point, because then we go into manifesting the weight, which I thought was very interesting. We talked about that the other day, but that was, I think it's a very interesting point. Like, sorry, there are just bugs here everywhere.
Right, so we talked about this.
I think we should mention that a little bit.
Right, well, let's talk about it, because you're at 66 right now.
Yeah.
And the competition weight is 63 for powerlifting. So the question is, is she going to compete at 69 or 63?
69 is way too heavy for me.
Well, that's the thing is, the girls are going to be 72 kilos coming down. So they're going to be much bigger girls. It's a big jump. 63 to 69 is actually a big jump. And so that 10% is quite a big thing. And when we started going out together, you were 61, 62, bit lean.
I was losing a lot of muscle.
Right, too much.
And then I was not strong at all.
So we were like, all right, so let's see if you can walk around and be strong at 64, and then cutting off a kilo is fine. Cutting off 2 kilo, 3 kilo is not a big deal, but I don't like it. So 1 kilo, and 1 kilo and a half is as far as we go with this. So can you walk around at 64? So the key was, like, she started to look at food and like, what should I cut? And I was like, no, that's exactly what we're not going to do. What I want you to do is I want you to do something differently. I want you to, in your mind, already be at 64 kilos. And you're going to manifest that 64 kilo in everything that you do, which means I want you to move like you're 64. I want you to think like you're 64. So what do I mean by that? It's a prediction versus observation thing. What I want her to do is I want her to lean against the prediction that she's at 64. And her body is going to tell her, but I don't understand, I'm not, I'm at 66. Not because the balance, the scale says so, more because the everyday life tells her, but you're not moving like you're at 64. And I'm like, exactly. And whenever you get that somatic error, you're going to keep leaning against it and go, yeah, but I want to be there. I want. And that makes you change those little things all day that you never pay attention to. Mm-hmm. It's almost like an unconscious action that you take, which was the hippie called manifestation. You have to manifest who you want to be. It's really leaning on the prediction side. And you can do that if you know how to do it correctly. You can lean on the prediction. A leaning, not going to the point where body becomes an object. Yeah. So that's what this is. It's leaning against the prediction, but still with body as a subject, which means you're going to think you're at 64, more like you're 64 kilos, and your body is telling you, but it's not happening that way.
Yeah.
You cannot ignore that signal. You're going to accept that signal and say, there is a problem, let me fix it. So then you end up doing a little bit more cardio, a little bit faster cardio, moving a little bit faster, moving up and down. Like all those small unconscious decisions will be taken because you want to feel a certain way. Yeah. And that thing, that leaning on the prediction side will allow you. You walk around a different way. You walk around a different way. You are a different way. You're already at 64, you just haven't manifested it yet. Yeah. That's really the prediction versus observation. We can do that, but it has to be done with body as a subject. And if you look, the foundation of the Q lens is body as a subject versus body as an object. You cannot be either just one. You have to be both. Like everything else, it's a duality that we see all the time. Like I talk about it, the arch in Strongfit, where that duality, body as a subject, body as an object, is the foundation of your sense of self. It is the foundation of everything that we do. So you cannot lean against a prediction and say, I'm going to drop 10 kilos. It doesn't mean anything. What you have to do is to be that and then have the observation of your body telling you not yet. And that's the battle that will make you act differently throughout the day where we get there. There we go. So we changed the angle. Sorry, the camera died. Manifestation. We might have to. Where were we? Because the camera stopped. We don't even know where we were.
Yeah. Okay. Manifestation. So it helped me a lot, that you're adjusting to the body as a
Right.
as
So
a
that
subject in training and in nutrition, and that you're imagining yourself basically in
you're
the
leaning
state you
against
want.
the prediction. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and you're picturing yourself in a better state, in the
Right.
state you want to be in, or the person you want to be.
Right, so we made that,
In that in
point
general.
about lifting is like a lot of people, you know, they want to go from 180 to a 220 kilo back squat. But did you not understand that the person who's squatting, oh, there's a monkey in the garden, that's great, there you go.
It's crazy.
The person
right
that is
there.
squatting the 180 and the person that is squatting the 220 are not the same person. You don't just go 180, 185, 190. On that road to 220 kilo, to adding like a plate on each side, you will not be the same person.
Yeah.
You will have, even physiologically, soft tissue. You'll be sore in
Mentally.
places you didn't know you could be sore, and yet you're going to find muscle you didn't know you had. Your technique is going to change. Like the technique for at 180 is not quite a technique at 220. Then mentally you're gonna change, because you're gonna have to attack the weight differently. You're gonna find another gear that is not just you getting stronger. So a lot of people make that mistake of, I'm the same person, I'm just squatting more. You're not. You become a new person. Like the angle is very different. People are gonna get sick watching the video because, you know, something moved. Anyway, so it's gonna be something for the weight. The key is, if you get closer and closer to your optimum level, wherever that is for you, like you will see that the little things are better. You move better, you are better.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing.
Yeah. And then I had another question: is the new Q training nutrition protocol something you can jump into from no nutrition, no training, like
Right.
just a let me say, someone who's not familiar with Strongfit, who is not at the weight they want to be and they want to get lean? Do they just jump into the protocol, the new protocol, or do they jump into the Strongfit principles first, then into the protocol, and then into the leaning out protocol, just to call it like that real quick?
Right. I would know they can jump in, because the key will be that. The key is the main principle is body as a subject,
yeah.
and nutrition as a stabilizing force. And if someone needs to stabilize nutrition, no one needs to stabilize nutrition like someone who's overweight. That's
Yeah.
the first thing they need to
Or
do.
unfamiliar with.
When familiar with that, is just stabilize first, and then we go from there. Right. The dog is barking, the neighbors are starting, this is going to be a nightmare. We're going to stop it there, and then we just do another episode on nutrition soon, so we can update and stuff like that. Sounds good?
Right,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.